Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about the War Within, which is the next expansion to World of Warcraft and the 10th expansion of World of Warcraft and the first installment of the World Soul Saga. This was announced at BlizzCon 2023 and in this video we're going to go through all of the major features you can expect from this expansion releasing next year. But before we jump into that, guys, just want to shout out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, Dragonflight PTR and more, over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. Right, so yes, the War Within, Midnight, and the Last Titan were all announced at BlizzCon 2023. Now, the War Within is going to be the next installment of World of Warcraft, as mentioned. This will be releasing late next year with the beta starting around the spring. And at BlizzCon, we got so much information about this expansion, just through different panels and announcements and interviews and things like that. But in this video, we're going to look at the 7 major features which are coming in this expansion. So let's start with new zones. In the War Within, we will have a brand new level cap of level 80 and a brand new continent called Khaz Algar. Now, this was rumored for a while, and all of the fake leaks on MMO Champion did also mention Khaz Algar. So yes, the continent of Khaz Algar is kind of a stacking continent similar to how Azj-Kahet works, with kind of the airlock technology as you fly through the zones, which is actually really cool. So you'll start on the Isle of Dawn, which is on the western coast of Pandaria. From there, you'll head into the Ringing Deeps, which is just below this zone. And then from there, you'll head into Hallowfall. And then at the very end, you'll go into Azj-Kahet, which is a Nerubian kind of empire. All of these zones look absolutely phenomenal. Personal favorite has got to be Hallowfall. I love that huge gem in the top of the sky. They've said that all of these zones won't feel like you're underground, which is really nice. Kind of Cavern did feel a little bit depressing after a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't really feel that way in Khaz Algar. But yes, from the very start of the expansion, we will have 4 brand new zones to explore. They look very, very cool and very unique, and obviously dragon riding and things like that will be enabled in these zones, but more about dragon riding in a little bit. But yes, Khaz Algar is going to be the continent of the next expansion. Going into dungeons and raids now, we will have 8 dungeons at launch for the War Within. We have 4 level up dungeons that include the Rookery, the Stone Vault, the Priory of the Sacred Flame, and the City of Threads. At max level, we'll have 4 more dungeons called the Cinderbrew Meadery, the Dark Flame Cleft, the Dawnbreaker, and the Old City. I don't think it was confirmed whether or not we're going to have like old dungeons in the Mythic Plus pool once again. I don't think anyone actually asked about that. If they did, let me know down below. But yes, we will have 8 brand new dungeons coming with this expansion. And on top of that, the first raid of the expansion is going to be the Nurabar Palace. This is a 8-boss raid in Azj-Kahet, which actually is really interesting. So they actually showed like a map of where all the bosses are. It looks pretty different to a lot of raids that we've seen before. This is going to be a Nerubian themed raid, and I'm very looking forward to it. So yes, 8 new dungeons from launch, and of course a new raid with the new season. Also in the War Within, we are getting a brand new race. We are getting a new allied race, specifically called the Earthen. Now these are based off of dwarves, but are slightly taller than dwarves. Now we've seen Earthen before throughout World of Warcraft, but these are going to be playable ones. Now this race does support gear and transmog and things like that, so you don't need to worry about that. But it is very cool looking. So it is essentially a dwarf, but kind of a rocky, gem bedazzled dwarf. These will be available for the Alliance and Horde. So yes, we are getting Horde dwarves. The classes available for this will be 10 out of the 13. So that'll be Death Knight, Hunter, Mage, Monk, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, Warrior. So yes, basically every class apart from Evoker, Druid, and Demon Hunter, which is very exciting. Death Knight, don't know how that's going to work. That's going to be interesting. They will, of course, come with a Heritage Armor, which you will be able to unlock once you've got your Earthen to max level. And unlocking this race will require you to complete the max level campaign on Khaz Algar, and there's no reputation to grind. So essentially completing the max level campaign in the War Within will get the Earthen unlocked, which is very exciting. So yes, a new race for the Horde Alliance coming in this new expansion. The next feature we're going to talk about in the War Within is a feature called Delves. Now, Delves are a new evergreen endgame pillar for World of Warcraft. These are kind of targeted towards outdoor world players and players that don't really do Mythic Plus or raiding, which is actually really exciting and something that's definitely for me. Now, these are quick adventures up to 1 to 5 players and are role agnostic. So you can bring 5 DPS or 5 tanks or 5 healers or whatever you want. It does not matter in this mode, which is actually really cool. And doing it solo, yeah, that's probably going to be something I'm going to be doing a lot. Now, what they've said about this is this essentially has taken lessons learned from Torghast, Islands, and Scenarios. When they first announced it, it did kind of sound like it is sort of like Torghast, but hopefully a little bit better than that. This actually offers meaningful progression as well, which is really cool, and delves will actually be included in seasonal content. So from this, you'll get seasonal rewards such as mounts. You're actually going to get a customizable mount, which is really cool, and you'll obviously unlock parts of that throughout the different seasons, pets of course, and achievements. There'll be 12 of these available on launch, but an extra one which will be like a hidden one, which is kind of cool. Also as well, you're going to have a seasonal NPC every single time following you around and helping you out in these delves. Think of it kind of like Chromie in the Death of Chromie scenario. These will have customizable loadouts and apparently is smarter than the smart AI, so they've definitely got some new tech working with that. Season 1 will have Bran Bronzebeard following you around in your delve adventures. But of course, at the end of your delves, you'll be getting a bunch of loot, and they're actually adding a new outdoor road to the Great Vault, which is really cool. So the Great Vault will now have kind of delve requirements, so depending on how many delves you do in the week, we'll unlock some rows on the Great Vault, which give rewards at the end of the week. And finally, of course, with delves, you will be getting a bunch of really fun, cool transmog. So yes, very much looking forward to that. It's pretty much my second most hyped feature for the War Within, because my absolute most hyped feature is the next one we're going to talk about, and that is Warbands. Warbands is yet again another evergreen system coming to WoW, which I am ecstatic about. I literally cannot wait for this to come in. I wish we had it right now. So this is a quality of life feature for players with multiple characters. Warbands allow banks, reputation, transmog to be shared across all of your characters. So when the pre-patch for the War Within comes in, there'll be a bunch of things which are now going to be account-wide. So your transmog collection, that does include collecting transmog. So an example I like to give is that if you're running Molten Core on a warrior and the paladin tier drops, you will now be able to collect that paladin tier even if you're not a paladin, which is very exciting. So yeah, you're going to be able to collect all of the transmog from running the dungeons and the raids. That's going to be one of my favorite features by far. The War Within reputations will also be account-wide as of the launch of the War Within. They did say they are looking into doing Dragonflight and Legacy reputations as well, which is definitely a massive pain point for me for alts, and I hope that comes in sooner rather than later. Flight Pass will also be account-wide along with delves. Achievements, like all achievements, will now be account-wide. You'll have an account-wide bank, and some items will be kind of warband until equipped, which sounds like an interesting feature. Also, warbands are getting a new login screen for your characters. They kind of showed a concept of this at BlizzCon. It looks phenomenal, and obviously you can just pick and choose what characters you can have on that login screen. However, warbands will be across your entire account, so all of your characters will be linked through this warband system, and it's something that they're looking to expand in the future as well, which is super cool. Moving on into dynamic flight and riding, we're getting some cool updates with this in the War Within. So dragon riding is here to stay. It will be a permanent feature of World of Warcraft. It's going to be renamed to dynamic flying, and then the TBC flying, the kind of old school flying, is going to be called static flying. Now this is something you will be able to switch between, so if you just want to do dynamic flying, you can do that, or if you just want to do TBC static flying, you can also do that as well with a simple spell in your spellbook, presumably. Now, what they're saying here is that most mounts will be able to dynamically fly. In the trailer, we did see Invincible flying through, which is very cool. But yes, they said some mounts have some like animation requirements, which might not work, but they're going to try and get it to work. This will be available in all flyable areas, and most of this will actually come in patch 10.2.5 of Dragonflight. So very, very soon we'll be getting a kind of dragon riding dynamic flight in like Pandaria and Northrend and areas like that, which is going to be extremely, extremely helpful. But yes, regular flying, as mentioned, static flying will be available at the launch of the War Within, but you will have to complete the max level campaign to do so, which sounds pretty easy. I mean, obviously they've just added static flying in the Dragon Isles, and this is obviously something they're looking to continue to do, which is cool. The dragon riding glyph system will become evergreen. They're going to probably pick and choose which ones you can go and unlock, but for the most part, some of these will be auto-unlocked. Kind of the important ones will probably be unlocked. They didn't mention specifically when this will be unlocked, but it's very likely that this will be unlocked from level 10 due to Dragonflight being the standard leveling experience as of the War Within. So yeah, we'll have to see more details about that. But yes, dynamic and static flying is coming in more so in the War Within, but also we're getting a little bit of it in 10.2.5. And finally, a major feature for classes coming in the War Within is hero talents. So the description for this is expand your Warcraft fantasy with hero talents, a new level of class specialization customization. Hero talents are modeled after well-known archetypes from the Warcraft universe, including Dark Rangers, Farseers, and more. So this feature is a way to expand the talent point system, which was introduced in Dragonflight. This will unlock at level 71 and will have 10 nodes to unlock, and all of them will be unlocked by level 80. Now, they did put a massive list out of all of the kind of subclasses you will be able to pick from in the War Within, including like a Sand Lane Death Knight, which is like a vampire Death Knight, a Dark Ranger Hunter, a Mountain Thane Warrior. There's a ton of different and awesome combinations here, which we'll obviously see more of once we get into Alpha and Beta. But yes, this essentially is kind of a subclass specialization thing that you'll be able to choose for your class once you reach level 71. Very excited to see how this plays out. Obviously, as mentioned, we will see way more details once we get that first Alpha build in the spring. But yes, that is it. That is all of the kind of major features coming in the War Within. There is a ton of other features coming in the War Within as well. So yeah, this isn't just it. There is so much coming in this expansion. I'm very, very excited to dive into Alpha when that eventually launches. And I'm going to be doing videos on specific features very, very soon on the channel. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know down below what you think of the War Within and its features. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I think there's so much cool evergreen features here, which just make me so excited to play World of Warcraft. And yeah, I wish we had them now, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait until the War Within releases at the end of next year. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, Dragonflight PTR, and more, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.